Okay, team. So with the program being online, it's quite hard to communicate how exactly you should be performing all your exercises in the gym when you're training. So the purpose of this video is to go through stuff in detail. I'm going to show you some video clips of how to do it, how not to do it. So hopefully after watching this, we're more on the same hymn sheet. You know what I expect for you with regards tempo and execution of your exercises. So the first thing to say is when you're lifting, any exercise that you're doing in the gym, there's two main portions of the lift. We have what's called the concentric and the eccentric. Commonly, the eccentric is called the negative. That's what I'll call it moving forward from now. So just to explain, the concentric on this chest press here is on the way up. So that's when the chest is really working to press the weight up. And the eccentric on the way down, often one of the easiest ways to remember this is often when it's resisting gravity. So if I was to press that weight up, if I was just to let it go, obviously gravity would just drop that weight to the floor. So when you're thinking about a lift and you're thinking, well, which is the concentric and which is the negative here, think where are you resisting gravity, and 99% of the time that's going to be the negative portion of the lift. So concentric on the way up, pressing up, and then negative on the way down. On this leg extension, my quads are working on the way up. That's the concentric. The eccentric is when I'm lowering it down. On the lat pull down, my back is working, my lats are working to pull the weight down. The negative is actually the way up, because if I was just to let go of the bar would just go up. So it's when I'm resisting on that portion of the lift there. I think I just got one more example here. A bicep curl. So bicep curl, concentric is on the way up. That's when my biceps are working. Got to think, where am I resisting gravity? Lowering it down. The negative is on the way down. So every lift has always got two portions to it, the concentric and the eccentric. There are more, but let's just stick with the basics with this video here. The biggest mistake you will see when you look around in the gym, and you'll be able to spot the difference between someone who knows what they're doing and a beginner, is that a beginner does not focus on the negative portion of the lift. So going through those examples on the chest press, they just press it up and drop it down really quickly. On the lat pull down, they pull down and then they'll just let the weight fly back up. They don't focus on the negative. And actually the negative is the most important part of the lift. So as a blanket comment, I always recommend that on all the negative portions of the lift, so all your lifts, you need to be controlling the weight for 2 to 3 seconds on the way down. Research says that's kind of like the sweet spot as such. You don't need to be lowering exercises for like 4 or 5 seconds and going like too far at that end of the scale. It doesn't need to be that slow. But at the same time, there should be a change in tempo. Lift shouldn't just be like 1 second up, 1 second down, 1 second up, 1 second down. You should be slowing the negative down and 2 to 3 seconds. Often if you count 3 seconds in your head, actually if you watch a video back, it will probably look like 2. So normally I'll just say like 2 to 3 seconds. If you count 3 seconds, it's probably going to be 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds, and that will be absolutely perfect. What you want to think about, if you are doing 10 reps, let's just say it's on leg press, an amateur mistake would be to just do 10 reps and 1 second up, 1 second down. If you start a stopwatch, that might take 10 or 12 seconds. If somebody's following the right tempo on the lift, it'd be 1 second up, about 2 or 3 seconds on the way down. A set of 10 reps will take 30 to 40 seconds. So imagine I was standing by you in your gym sessions. Imagine I was starting a stopwatch, and ask yourself, did you just rush through that set or did you control the tempo on the way down? Here's a few examples here. You can just spot the difference. Here we go. I'm just frantically moving that dumbbells up and down. I'm just pressing it. It feels awkward me doing it like that for the video. And then here's a demonstration of more control. See, pressed up. You see I'm in control of that weight on the way down. This is frantic. I'm just throwing the weight down. And you'll see here when I transition, it just looks so much smoother, so much more controlled. I'm in control of that weight. I'm not just throwing it from A to B. There's such a huge difference. Leg extensions. Again, this is quite frantic. So straight up, 1 second up, 1 second down, 1 second up, 1 second down. I'm not focusing on the negative. Spot the difference. Controlled. So whatever exercise you're doing in the gym, Think about this. Think about the control on that way down. And then I think there's just this one more example here. Again, this is frantic. I felt so awkward filming this, but this is how people train. But instead, it wants to be precise. You want to be in control. You're lowering the weights. It just looks so much better and so much smoother. So key points. Always be in control of the weight. No swinging, no momentum. Try and eliminate all momentum from the lifts. So the work is going through the working muscle. So on a leg extension, you want all your quads to do the work. You don't just want momentum. If it's a bicep curl, you want all that force to go through your biceps. And control the negative portion of the lift. Don't just let gravity drop the weight. And imagine somebody's got a stopwatch on all of your sets. 30 to 40 seconds would be the sweet spot if you were doing approximately 10-12 reps. Next thing for you to think about, on each exercise, there's going to be like a top of the exercise and a bottom of the exercise. So on this example here, the bottom of the exercise is here. It doesn't get any lower than that. And the top of the exercise is going to be approximately about here. Now, what I always say when I'm coaching clients in person is think about pausing just for a split second in each range of the motion. So the top of the range of motion and the bottom of the range of motion. So you've just watched my lift here, controlled up. See that split second pause, split second pause. Same on the bicep there. Now, a great little tip is imagine somebody's taken a photograph of you in the gym. Now, if you had a photographer with you, they should be able to take a picture of you at the bottom of the lift, and then you come up, picture at the top as well, because you pause. You see? Little pause, controlled. Pause at the top, pause at the bottom. And if you think about each lift that you're doing, adding in that little pause, that will really help your control. And the last thing to say as well is the mind-muscle connection. So this just actually means you thinking about what's going on. So in this first exercise here, I'm pushing the weight down. So this is for the triceps and the back of my arm. What a lot of people do, and this would be, again, a beginner mindset, would be you read your program, it's 3 sets of 10, and they would literally just pick up the weight and just push the weight down as quick as they can, and all they'll be thinking about is trying to get to 10 as quick as they can. Instead, what you want to be thinking about when you're training is, right, what muscle is this trying to work? This is for my triceps. Okay, so push down, squeeze the muscle on the back of your arm as hard as you can, and try and get that mind-muscle connection with whatever muscle is working. So the triceps here, little pause, put it down. I'm trying to squeeze that muscle on the back of my arm, not just swinging it from A to B like this. It's going to be really hard to get any mind-muscle connection like that. For example, here on the biceps, when I get to the top, I'm literally trying to squeeze my bicep as hard as I can. Imagine if someone just touched your arm now and said, flex, let's see how big your biceps are. That's what squeezing is. It's really hard to do when you're swinging weight like this. Same on the top here. You're trying to get that mind-muscle connection. You're trying to squeeze your quad as hard as you can, make it hurt. Control on the way down. Really hard to do when you're just swinging a weight around like that. So some key considerations. Think about the muscle that's working. Always try and squeeze that. Try and feel it. If you can't feel what muscle you're supposed to be training, there's a chance you're doing the exercise wrong. Don't just count to 10 and try and get the set over as quick as possible. Try and actually change your mindset and just say, right, how can I actually get the most out of this set and almost make it hurt more? So quick summary of everything that we've just gone over. Remember, you've got your two main portions of the lift, your concentric and your eccentric, which is called the negative. You should always control your negatives for 2 to 3 seconds. Always be in control. No swinging, no momentum. Think about that little tip of pausing in each range of the motion just for a split second. Think about what muscle is working and don't just count to 10 as quick as you can. So those are my top tips. Hopefully that's been useful. As always, any questions, any feedback, let me know.